What's up, everybody? Wanted to bring you another quick video. Obviously you saw that intro and that Integra that is turbo. This was a car that I had built in college through the year. I think it was somewhere between 2008 and 2010. So it's been about 10, 11 years ago since I did this. So some of the footage that you're gonna see is gonna be a little older. I do have a couple pictures. I'm gonna try to put multiple pictures on here for you so you can kind of see the process through the build. And then at the end, I got some more live action for you from where I was at the drag strip and some other bits and pieces from when I was getting the car tuned. But I wanted to provide this little ode to the GSR that I used to have. This is kind of where I got my roots, and obviously if you've watched any of my other videos, including the Rowdy Audi project, you'll know why. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy. If you like this kind of content, give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends, and enjoy.
I'm a big motorhead. I've been, just a little info about me, I've been interested in engines and electronics and everything my entire life. Ever since I was little, I used to take computers apart, take my little sister's dolls apart and put them back together and see how everything works. So I've been really mechanically inclined all my life. I've actually decided to start turboing my GSR. I've still got to do the leak down test and everything, but it doesn't burn any oil, so everything seems to be good. This is a standard TO4E turbo. This is not a name brand turbo. It is an off-brand that I got offline for about $270. It's a wet float bearing turbo, and it hasn't been broken in yet. So it'll probably spin freer than that whenever I get it in the car and it's got oil flowing through the casing and the bearings and everything like that, and break it in. I'm probably going to run well, I'm thinking about running 6 psi, 6 to 8. I'm going to tune it myself using chrome. This is your standard TO4E turbo that most people run when they first turbo a Honda. It's good up to about 350 horses, and this is the exhaust turbine. As you can see, it's smaller, and here you have the bearings. This is only oil cooled, so oil will actually flow out of this and will flow in here. And I'll run a cable with I'll probably have a restrictor in here too, so I don't blow out any of the bearings inside here, which will cause this thing to smoke out of the exhaust and possibly blow the turbo. Everything seems to be good. This is a 5-bolt turbine housing. I'm probably going to have to get a downpipe made for this turbo, because I want to keep my air conditioning and everything like that, so I don't actually lose the drivability. I mean, I want my car to be fast, but I don't want to lose my AC. This thing should boost pretty good at 8 psi without too many hassles. Hopefully it doesn't give me any hail. I mean, it seems to be good. No shaft play, none of that. So still got to drill this out and tap this. And put a vacuum fitting on here, and this is going to run directly to my boost controller and my wastegate, so I can control the amount of boost from the turbos, so I don't get too much boost in my manifold. Like I said, if I'm boosting 6 psi at the turbo, I may only see 3 to 4 psi at the manifold, which is kind of what I want. And then that boost controller that I'll be able to adjust it. So yeah, if you want to learn more about the boost controller and wastegates and all that stuff, it's really, you find a lot of information on Google and on the internet and forums and stuff. What this does is there's two little wires. One's from a positive 12 volts and one goes to the ECU. And in order for this to open, the ECU has to complete a ground. When it completes a ground, there's a little coil in here that opens a pin, basically letting fuel out. These injectors are from a factory DSM, so they're stock DSM injectors. The number on the side is HDL 450. That's how you tell. It's right there, if you can see it, HDL 450. That's how you can tell the flow rating of these are Mitsubishi injectors, of most Mitsubishi. Some companies are different, some are the same. These are Bosch style injectors. The factory Honda injectors flow 240 cc, which is their max flow rate at the stock PSI of fuel pressure, which is about 43 PSI. fuel pressure. At that same fuel pressure, these will flow 450 cc. So this will give me more fuel whenever I'm adding more air into the mix. The computer that I have will actually tone these down. I have a program that will tone these down whenever I'm not in boosting to run just like the factory from like I think it's like 25 inches of vacuum all the way up to 0. And then when I start boosting, that's when these come into play and start dumping more fuel for the more air, which makes more power, theoretically. You can get injector boxes, but I've made my own here. And I've got there are two different type of injectors. Let me start there. Yeah, the Honda injectors are saturated injectors. They're high resistance. They're about anywhere between 12 and 16 ohms. I actually metered the ones in my car, and they meter at about 13 ohms. These are what you call peak and hold. The Hondas are saturated high resistance, 1 to 4 ohms roughly, depending on what you get. These are actually 1G or first gen black top 450s. They do have second gen, which are blue top injectors. But I did go to Radio Shack. Instead of buying a resistor box off of like eBay off the internet, I just made this one. It's crude, but it should work. This is where I'm going to actually mount it to the car. And then I've got the wires and stuff running off here that I haven't, done yet. I'm going to use it to where I can actually, because I'm going to have to switch injectors for OBD2 back whenever I go get my inspection. So I've made another little spare harness to kind of do it. But what this is I've got 4 10-watt, 10-ohm injectors in here. And as you can tell, with the saturated style injectors, it's about 13 ohms. And if these register 3 plus 10, you're looking at another 13 ohms. And the reason why that is so you don't burn up your computer, because if you try to hook these up, it'll draw too much current and will fry your ECU and probably render it useless, which is not good. Alright, well, this is a factory P06 ECU. Well, it's not a factory, because, but as you can see, it's got the factory OEM expansion board, and it's got a little miscellaneous items in here that you would add to make it do certain things, and this is one that I just pulled up off the internet, so I'm going to close this real quick. And this is my computer. I did paint the top because I thought it was kind of sexy, so I was like, whatever. But this is my conversion harness. It's an OBD2 A conversion harness that converts it to OBD1. I can actually use this OBD1 in my car because it is a 97, which is, it is in the emissions category, so I do have to go get it inspected every year, and they do have to do emissions on it. So that'll be an issue, but I'll just swap out my old ECU with this one whenever I go to get my inspection, and my stock 240cc injectors as well. As you can see, this is the OEM expansion board that I've actually chipped, and then I'll explain this chipping in just a second, but this basically is the inside of a Honda computer. They say on the forums this is one of the best computers that was ever made for vehicles, because it's easy to crack, more or less. This is a stock P06 computer, like I said, and the numbers right here, as you can see, it says P06. This comes out of a stock Civic, and the stock Civics usually have a single overhead cam D-series engine in it, which isn't very potent. It's kind of weak. It's about a little over 100 horsepower. This actually has been chipped to run my dual overhead cam VTEC Integra. But this is where I actually chipped. This is the OEM expansion board. I added a logic board, the chip, a few capacitors, capacitor there, a resistor, and then a jumper. And that jumper will convert it back to stock. And when I say stock, will convert the computer to run a normal Civic engine if I just pull that jumper out. Basically, it says, hey, I want you to read from this chip, and this chip I load a map on, or a base map, which is the bin file, to make the engine run exactly how I tell it to. This is the other chipping portion that I did. I actually added VTEC here. This is a high side switch, and this is what actually enables my VTEC to run. So this will send a signal to my solenoid in the head to release oil pressure and lock the cams, or the rocker arms, together and run off that bigger cam lobe. You had to add a capacitor, a transistor, a diode over here, and then that was it as far as the VTEC conversion. And that would be with the chip kit, and then that, or just with this, would be the equivalent of a P28, which is just a VTEC enabled ECU. It's like the same as same for a Civic or whatnot, but it's for the single overhead cam VTEC, more or less. This is where the P72 comes into play. I've actually added IAB support, which is little butterfly valves within the intake manifold to make it longer and shorter for better torque response, pretty much. But I've got a little switch here, or a little transistor here. I added one here for the IAB, and then a little jumper wire right there. And then this right here would be the equivalent of a P72, but without knock support. The knock board would add here. If I could get my hands on one, I would add it, but of course I can't, so I don't. Basically, whenever I want to tune the computer or tune the car, I take this chip. There's a little lever here that I push out. I'm not actually going to do it, but I pull this chip out and I place it in the Burn 2, which is, I got this from Moats for $85. This is a ROM burner, EEPROM burner, and this just plugs USB. It's self-powered from the laptop. I use this program. It's called Chrome. This is just a free version. I haven't actually bought the Pro yet. But it has a lot of neat features. Like here's the actual, this is my high cam, this would be my VTEC cam load fuel map, low cam profile fuel map, high cam ignition, as you can see. But with this program, I can basically tell the computer, the rev limiter is set at 82. I've got the actual shift light, which is the extra features that you can add. Launch control. Basically, when I'm not moving, I floor the car. It won't rev past 3,700 RPM, which is pretty good whenever you go to the drag strip. Boost limit. I don't actually have this ROM set up for boosting yet, because I actually don't have the turbo installed or the injectors. But once I add the injectors and everything, that's when I'll add the boost columns. But when I add the boost columns on the tables, it'll be extended from 0.3 on over to like 11 psi on the stock map sensor. Well, that basically does it. And after I do that, I just save it, and then I go to this program right here, and I load that file, which is right here. That's what it looks like, save buffer, which is what that has all the maps and everything in it. And then I just hit program chip, and it programs it, and then I take it, put it back in the ECU, and then I put it in the car, and the car will run exactly what I just loaded on it.
out there somewhere, though. Gotta roll your windows up, boss man. All windows got to be rolled up at all times. Just in case you get ejected, make sure you go through the glass before you roll.
On your ass. Get it, son.
Oh, sound like you got a little something else. Next best.
So Kelly Clarkson.
Everybody
Get on it, Jim.
everybody keeping single file in this lane.
Let's talk about 2 boy. It's better than a quarter and it's 8. We are that's all we know. She got loose right there. That's better. He's squalling, you hear that? Squalling 4. She's ready now.
Damn it, too much boost.
Flight Club, come on up. My cousin.
Get it, boy.
All right, baby.
Get it in. Let's run this mom. Let's do it, son. Rev that bitch up.